So I've seen countless videos online of people maybe in their very late 20s or 30s or 40s basically saying that they wasted their 20s and it's one of the biggest regrets that they have. Respectfully, I'm not trying to be like that. I hate to say it. Maybe they spent too much time partying or not working as hard as they should have to set themselves up for the future. So now they're basically playing catch up. But I think it's good to basically learn from their experiences and mistakes, especially if you are someone who is in their 20s, early 20s maybe, for example. I still have my entire 20s ahead of me, and it's good because the earlier that I get my act together and understand these things, the better that I can set myself up for the future. This is sort of my game plan, I'm 20 right now, I'm really trying to, be successful. These are the sort of rules or lessons that I am going to abide by in hopes of, really elevating during this next coming decade. First and foremost, before anything else, keeping God first, keeping Jesus first. That's probably the most important lesson or takeaway within this entire video, really. I'll give you this analogy. You're on a boat. You are the one that's rowing the boat, but God is the one that's giving you the direction. So God's going to steer you and basically direct you towards the path that He wants you to go towards, but you are the one that's going to have to put in the work to fulfill the path, the plan that God has for you, essentially. From a lot of these videos, I've seen people who felt that the reason why they wasted their 20s and whatnot is because they didn't really have faith in their lives, so it led them astray. So that's really, really important point, keeping God first, keeping God at the center of your life. Okay, next we've got mastering a high income skill. I think this is really, really important as someone who's trying to level up. The skill that I'm personally learning is sales. So I'm currently working as an intern, a sales intern or account executive intern. You don't want it to be a situation where you don't really have any skills that are monetizable or that you can leverage to make good income. If you can learn a recession-proof skill, a high income skill, you'll basically never be broke, because regardless of whether there is another lockdown, God forbid, or a recession, for example, these are skills that are always going to be in demand. So whether that is sales or software engineering or even learning a trade like plumbing or being an electrician, these are skills that are always going to be in demand. They're sort of evergreen. So yeah, I think if you're someone who is, in your early 20s, or just, I guess, a young person in general, mastering a high income recession-proof skill is something that is really important if you want to elevate. Next, we've got prioritizing my health. So that is something that I'm really trying to focus on from early as well, because, there is the old popular saying that a healthy person has hundreds of wishes, but a sick person only has one wish, and that is to be healthy, right? So it is essential for me to start prioritizing that now, and for you, of course, who is watching, to start really taking it seriously, right? So for me, what does that look like? Going to the gym regularly. Stretching is really important. I've tried to do that regularly as well. Movement is really, really important, not being sedentary. It's basically being active, and then also prioritizing, nutritious food, eating healthily, all that sort of stuff. It's a struggle, but I'm working on it, but I think all of these things are really, really important, especially, like I said, from early. Don't want that to be a barrier that stops you from getting ahead or getting to where you want to be, because you physically are incapable of doing the things that you want to do. Next, we've got being a student of life. So I think this is really important as someone who's trying to get ahead in my 20s. So I literally just finished university this month, just handed in my final assignment. But just because I finished studying doesn't mean that I'll stop studying. Does that make sense? So continuously learning, maybe that's reading books, or I personally prefer audiobooks. So just learning about different aspects, whether that is health, fitness, mindset, faith, just consuming content that is actually beneficial. Just anything that's going to help me progress further in my life. Next, surrounding myself with the right people. This is something that you should really be paying attention to, who you surround yourself with. You've heard it, but I'm going to say it again. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you spend your time with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 losers, chances are you're going to be the 6th. And are you trying to be a loser? No. Just, I guess, really be careful of who you are spending time with, who you would consider to be your close friends or your friendship circle. Are they on the same wavelength as you? Or are they also trying to elevate or progress within their lives, level up, that kind of thing? If not, then maybe consider finding people who are on your wavelength. And finally, choosing purpose over pleasure. What does that look like? That is being mission orientated. That is being disciplined. That is delayed gratification, putting in the work now to reap the benefits of what I've sown in the future. That is being consistent even when I'm not seeing results. Resisting the world, basically resisting all this sort of bad desires and pleasures and short-term whatever it might be of this world, things that aren't really beneficial for me, that are going to take me off track. That is what choosing purpose over pleasure means. It's something that's very difficult because it's hard to do in this world when it feels like everybody else is doing the complete opposite. It makes you feel like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so focused on, maybe building your future or this is that? Live now, enjoy your 20s, do all sorts of diabolical things. It makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, but trust me, you are not doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. But yeah, these are sort of the pillars, if you will, that I am planning on following. That's my game plan in order to level up, get ahead, and not waste my 20s. And I feel like if I stick to all of these, then by the time I'm hitting 29, 30, I will have developed a really good foundation for my 30s. Obviously, all of this isn't going to be easy, but at the end of the day, it's about choosing your hard, right? Which hard are you going to pick? You can choose the hard of putting in the work now, grinding, remaining disciplined, focusing on developing yourself within your 20s, and then setting yourself up for a good future. Or you can focus on, not really caring about all of that, doing the exact opposite, but chances are in the future you're going to regret or wish that you did the other one. So both of these are hard, but it's all about choosing which hard is best for you. So yeah, if you're someone who is on this path, then stick around and let's build. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!